How's it going, everybody? Today I'm reviewing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, Episode 12, Inside Man. And again, spoilers for the episode. If you've not seen it, go watch the episode, then come back here. So as I like to do, I'll start off with the side stories first off. And one of the bigger side stories this episode was the whole cure aspect. And it was very X-Men-esque. You got one person supporting it in Lincoln, you got one person against it in Daisy. So they're kind of button heads. They had a cool little fight scene. And of course, their little makeout session up a little bit later in the episode. But I feel like this is the easy storyline. There's nothing new. It was kind of like a given if there was going to be a cure, and they obviously got the cure thing from the Absorbing Man and his blood. And you see Lincoln wants it to be used because people deserve to have a choice, but Daisy's like, no, they're born this way. They're supposed to be like this, so they shouldn't. And I feel like you're supposed to side with Lincoln on this one. I believe I do, but I understand where Daisy's coming from in this sense. But again, it reminded me definitely of especially X-Men, or if you've seen X-Men The Last Stand. I know it's one of not the best X-Men film out there, but it reminded me of that. And I know Daisy and Lincoln's romance kind of used to bug me, but I've warmed up to it a little bit. It was weird because it was so abrupt, I believe, last time, and they've kind of warmed it up. Like I've learned to accept it now, so I'm all good with it. That's for the main storyline. We get Talbot now. He's head of the ATCU, and Coulson's kind of got to tell him, hey, like, we got to work together. We got to find a way to do this. And they think someone's after them, and it isn't the Absorbing Man, but turns out he is working for Talbot after all, and he used to be under control by Hydra, but he's not like that anymore, and you kind of are skeptical of him throughout the whole episode until we get near the end, where you kind of find out whether we should trust him or not. And it was a great infiltration scene of them trying to spy on all these world leaders. I love Coulson's little hand trick, where you get all the handprints of everyone, they all go into everyone's rooms. It felt very Mission Impossible-esque. I like that all. Of course, they couldn't bring any weapons, but of course, there's a Hunter, he's sneaky like that, and he'll, of course, bring them, which turns out to be the smart move later on. But lots of good humor, actually, between Talbot and Coulson, which I like sprinkled in here. This is kind of the return I wanted for S.H.I.E.L.D., unlike last week's, which kind of felt as more of a setup filler type thing. This one really hit home, and I really loved it. But then we find out that Talbot is actually the mole. He's the one that is kind of working for Malik, and Malik comes in, says it's Phil Coulson, who's the head of Hydra, and we got to take care of him, because we find out that Hunter, he's gone off. He's so suspicious of the Absorbing Man. He goes off. He finds Talbot's son in this little tube thing, and basically he's being blackmailed. So I like that. I was like, already they're gonna set him up. I thought they would have dragged this out if he was supposed to be this mole. I thought they would have dragged this out a little bit, but it turns out that he's actually just doing it because his son's in danger, so he's got to work for Malik. And of course they escape. There's some great action scenes. The guy who's shooting at Bobby and Hunter is just standing there with no cover. He's just standing there right in front of everyone. I was like, dude, get some cover. If you're gonna try to kill people, you don't just stand there in the middle of the hall or whatever, standing behind the table. Anyways, but the fight scenes are great. I love seeing Bobby in action. She's awesome. Then at the end of the episode, we see that Hunter and Bobby are on the plane while Malik is talking with the Russian guy, saying the safe haven, or whatever you want to call it, for these things is going to be a great idea. So he's trying to get his hands on these Inhumans, and which leads us to Ward, or Hive, whatever you want to call him, and basically he's now got this other guy who's in the last episode, and he does some weird thing. I don't quite know what he's doing, if he's putting them under his control, but it doesn't seem like they're really super listening to them. I mean, they are, but it's a little unclear as of right now. I'm sure we'll get that more cleared up in the further episodes. But he requests basically, I think it was 4 or 5 humans, and it seems like he just takes their skin and uses it to repair his own body. So now Ward/Hive is back. He's ready, very horror-esque. It also reminded me of Terminator 2, when he just or not Terminator 2, Terminator, the first one, where he just is bending down on one knee and then gets up, and he's ready for action. So hopefully we're going to get to see Hive in full action next week. So overall, this is the return of S.H.I.E.L.D. I really wanted. I'm glad this episode happened. Wish it happened kind of last week, but oh well, we got it this week. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on the episode in the comment section below. Again, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos each and every week. That is it, and I will talk to y'all later.